Most gardeners know the back-breaking work of mulching, spreading straw, leaves or compost to protect soil, retain moisture and suppress weeds. It's effective but time-consuming and repetitive. Then I stumbled upon an old technique used by historical and indigenous gardeners: self-sowing seeds. These plants, carefully selected and placed, not only reseed themselves each year, but create living ground cover that protects soil naturally. The idea is simple, yet the results are profound. By harnessing self-sowing plants, I found that much of the labour associated with mulching vanished, while my garden became more resilient and productive. Self-sowing plants act as living mulch, reducing the need for constant intervention. Ancient farmers understood that certain plants, when allowed to drop seeds, created a protective carpet that shielded soil from sun, wind and erosion. They relied on clover, vetch, nasturtium and certain herbs to cover bare patches, prevent weeds and fix nitrogen, all without digging or constant replanting. In my garden, introducing self-sowing varieties accomplished the same effect. Over time, these plants formed a dense living layer, moderating temperature, retaining moisture, and preventing soil compaction, tasks that mulching otherwise requires. The key is, understanding plant selection and placement to ensure coverage without crowding main crops. Timing and placement are essential to maximize self-sowing benefits. Historical accounts indicate that sowing these plants in late spring or early summer ensured seeds matured before the first frost, creating a natural cycle that repeated each year. They were strategically planted between main crops or along borders, where their protective growth would not compete excessively for nutrients. Modern gardeners can, really, apply the same approach by observing microclimates in their garden, selecting seeds suited to sun, shade and soil type, and allowing them to establish before the main planting season ends. Over a few seasons, the garden develops its own network of self-renewing cover, dramatically reducing the need for manual mulching. These plants improve soil fertility naturally while protecting it. Many self-sowing species are legumes or dynamic accumulators that enrich the soil with nitrogen or bring trace minerals to the surface. In historical gardens, this dual role meant less reliance on compost or chemical fertilizers. In my experience, including self-sowing clover and vetch in the garden not only created living mulch, but boosted nutrient levels, enhancing the growth of vegetables and perennial crops. Modern gardeners can replicate this by rotating self-sowers through different beds each year, or interplanting them with primary crops, allowing plants to die back, decompose, and enrich the soil naturally without extra labour. Self-sowing seeds create these lovely little microhabitats that really support beneficial insects and soil life. Beyond just protecting and enriching the soil, these plants attract pollinators, predatory insects, and a whole range of soil microbes that, enhance the garden's resilience. Historically, gardens often relied on these natural interactions rather than turning to chemical interventions. In my own garden, simply letting self-sowing flowers grow among the crops increased pollination rates and quite noticeably reduced pest pressure. These days, Modern gardeners can intentionally mix flowering self-sowers with their vegetables to create a more balanced ecosystem. This approach can reduce the labour needed for pest control, improve yields and maintain soil cover. All those tasks that otherwise would require constant human management. Observation and, well, a bit of selective harvesting are key to maintaining balance in a self-sowing garden. Historical practitioners noticed that if self-sowing went unchecked, it could lead to overcrowding or competition. So they intervened selectively, thinning plants, collecting seeds for propagation elsewhere, and always leaving enough cover to protect the soil. I learned to do the same. Remove excess seedlings in early spring, redirect seeds to bare areas, and maintain pathways for access. This minimal management ensures the system remains productive and, well, prevents self-sowers from becoming weeds themselves. Modern gardeners can apply these principles with light monitoring rather than the heavy continuous labour that traditional mulching demands. The larger lesson is that working with natural plant cycles multiplies productivity while reducing effort. Self-sowing seeds demonstrate that historical gardeners understood ecological principles long before modern permaculture codified them. By creating a garden that renews itself, maintains soil cover and enriches the soil, they reduce labour and improved resilience simultaneously. Modern practitioners can apply the same principles in vegetable beds, orchards, or permaculture systems to achieve similar results. Over time, a self-sowing garden becomes a semi-automated system, requiring observation and minimal intervention rather than constant physical effort. Self-sowing seeds transform a garden from a labour-intensive project into a self-sustaining ecosystem. They protect soil, enhance fertility, support beneficial organisms, and reduce the need for repeated mulching. Historical wisdom shows that productivity and labour efficiency can go hand in hand when we work with natural cycles instead of against them. By integrating these species into modern gardens, we tap into strategies refined over centuries, creating spaces that are productive, resilient, and sustainable. If you want to uncover more historical strategies that make gardens work smarter, not harder, subscribe to Farm Logic, share this video with fellow gardening and history enthusiasts, and join us in bringing ancient wisdom back to life for modern, low-labour, high-yield gardens.